Good evening, Miss Angel. My name is Nick Saccone, and I'm a civil engineer with the United States Air Force. I would like to start up a company, a consulting company for construction companies called Blitzberg Consulting, where our motto would be rushing to save you money. I'm originally from Pittsburgh, and that's why I wanted to establish this business. That's why you see on our logo on the bottom right of the slide the silhouette of the city of Pittsburgh. And I named the business Blitzberg because it refers to our football team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and how much they love to blitz during football games. The meaning of Blitzberg and the usage of the word is very meaningful for local natives in the city, so that's why I wanted to use it. I felt like it would be very catchy and it would immediately attract people from that area to ask questions about my company. Ma'am, on the next slide here, I have an overview of what I would like to discuss with you. I wanted to talk to you about my vision statement and my mission statement. I want to talk to you about some of our internal strengths and weaknesses that I think our company will have, and also the external threats and opportunities that are out there in the construction realm. I would also like to compare my company to my biggest competitor, which is USGBC, and I'll explain more about them. And then also I would like to discuss with you my general strategy on how to make a niche in this market of construction. And then I would like to leave my contact information for you, so if you're interested in supporting me, you can contact me later. Ma'am, on this slide is my vision and mission statement for my company. My vision statement is to be the leader in saving you money before, during, and after construction. I want my consulting firm involved with the contractors during the design process to help them apply the most efficient designs and the most cost savings designs. And I want my inspectors to be involved during the construction process, make sure all the cost savings and environmental strategies are implemented. And even after the construction process, ma'am, I want my company to be there for the contractor to make sure everything's installed properly. The mission statement states that I want to decrease energy demand, I want to increase the sustainability of the building or the project, and I want to reduce overall the utilities costs after the building's built, and I want to make sure the tenant is happy. So my number one goal though overall is to save money, and that's why I have that money symbol on the upper left of our logo there. You see the silhouette of the Pittsburgh city on the bottom right there. First symbol you see is the dollar sign because I'm all about saving the customer money. And of course, secondarily, I would love if we can save the environment and be friendly to the community. I would love to apply that strategy as well. But first and foremost, I want to save money for the customer. This slide captures the strengths and weaknesses I anticipate having for my future company. Some of the strengths I wanted to highlight are that I will have a highly qualified staff working for me. I ensure to provide them the latest training to reduce life cycle and construction costs. I also want to establish a culture to save money within the company and outside the company as well. I want to make sure that I provide the proper dress and attire for my employees so they have something to identify with and they can be proud of what they're wearing. And also I want to create great incentive programs within the company to ensure that I reward excellent performance. Some of the weaknesses I anticipate having are the initial startup costs for the company, but I'm sure we can overcome that over time. And also the lack of a customer base at first will be a weakness as well. But again, what I like about this matrix is it really illustrates to me, and I hope it shows you, ma'am, my greatest strengths and my greatest weaknesses. So in the column titled rating, the number 4 represents my greatest strengths, and the scale goes all the way down to a number 1 where I feel like that's my greatest weakness. So for the most part, everything has a number 4 because I feel confident that we can either highlight our strengths or overcome our weaknesses. If it has a number 1 next to it, then I feel like it's an extreme barrier to our progress, which right now is our initial cost. But overall, if you tally up the weighted score, and if you look on the bottom right, there's a number labeled 3.35, which is on the scale between 1 and 4 is pretty high. I really feel confident that if I can start my company in my native city in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, that I can establish a customer base very quickly, and because of the capital, hopefully, that you'll invest in my company and my catchy name for the company, I will be able to spread my customer base very quickly and overcome any barriers that I encounter initially. The next slide. This slide has a matrix that captures the external factors that I plan on encountering out on the construction field. Some of the opportunities that I wanted to highlight are my competitor, the United States Green Building Council, right now charges an exorbitant amount of fees for their services. So I feel like this is a great opportunity for my company to undercut them, provide similar services for cheaper price. And that's why in the rating column I assigned it a number 4, because I feel very confident that this is one of my major strengths. Also, the United States government supports any cost or energy saving measures for their construction projects as well. So if I can show that I can beat the USGBC and provide similar services, hopefully I can garner some federal contracts my way. Also, construction projects are always available in whatever city you're at, especially Pittsburgh. So again, I feel like there's a market out there, a construction market that won't be going away anytime soon. So that's why I signed another 4 there. I feel like it's another major strength of mine. Also, when contractors build buildings or roads or whatever type of construction projects, they don't always use the best cost-saving measures to complete the project. So again, this is where my company could be of value to any contractor out there. If they can hire me, I can show them the latest and greatest cost-saving measures that will save them money and the customer money. Some of the threats that I plan on encountering are, well, the federal government has already hired or established the standards that the USGBC has already laid out as their criteria for construction. So that will be a tough one to overcome initially, but I know over time, if I could prove to the military or the federal government that my system's better and cheaper, I'm sure I could persuade them to hire me or bring more work my way. Also, the USGBC has a monopoly on the company right now, so really they don't have any strong competitors, which might make them idle or not as focused on providing the best services. So hopefully I can catch them off guard with the quality of work that I'll bring to the industry. Overall, this matrix shows that I have a score of 2.15, which shows that I'm not in the greatest position right now to establish or to take advantage of the opportunities that are out there, but I know that will change over time. This slide compares my company, Blitzburg, against my major competitor and lists the success factors that are critical for a company to progress out in the construction career field. So you have factors such as advertising, product quality, market share. There's weights assigned to each of them, and in my opinion, I went ahead and rated my company against my competitor, and as expected, I'm starting off a little lower than my competitor, but overall I feel like I can take advantage of all the strengths and all the factors out there and soon overcome my competitor. My strategy is focused around my biggest advantage, which is I'm able to provide similar services to my competitor, but at a much cheaper cost. As long as I can press that advantage and apply that strategy in the Pittsburgh or even the tri-state area of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Ohio, I feel like I can gain the advantage in the area and gain a share of the market there. Overall, ma'am, we talked about my vision and mission statement. We talked about my internal strengths and weaknesses that I anticipate having, and also the external opportunities and threats that might be facing my company when I enter the field. Also, I compared my company to my opposition, and initially we noticed that I am a little bit behind as expected, but I know I can overcome any of my opposition's advantages over time. I also shared with you my general strategy, which is I can provide similar services at a cheaper cost. If I can press that, I know I can gain a market share. And also, I know we talked about my logo on the bottom right there, the silhouette of the Pittsburgh city and how I value saving the customer money. And I also want to help the environment as well if I can. I've also highlighted the name of my company, which is Blitzburg, which I know will resonate through the city of Pittsburgh. Everyone will gravitate towards it. I know it's a very popular term that people already use for our Steelers football team. So I feel like it's a very catchy name and it will do well in the Pittsburgh area. Ma'am, I hope hopefully overall you've enjoyed my presentation. I wanted to provide you my contact information, which is on the next slide here as my first and last name, my cell phone number, and my email address. Thank you for your time, ma'am. I hope to hear from you soon.